discussion. This is about the servo mechanism. Okay. So, first we would like to understand the meaning of servo mechanism. Okay. So, servo mechanism means a mechanism which is served. It is a consist of two word here, you can see one is servo, second is the mechanism. It means this mechanism is slave to us, right. So, whatever instruction we are giving to this mechanism, it will strictly follow our instruction. It means this is the meaning of servo mechanism. Okay. So, in this session we will discuss about the introduction to the servo mechanism, then we will see about the armature controlled servo motors, then basic transfer function of this armature controlled DC motor, then we will see the transfer function of field controlled DC motor, then we will discuss about the sensors and encoders. Okay. So, in the servo mechanism we will see its definition, that a mechanism which will slave to us or which will act according to our instruction. Okay. So, this servo mechanism generally used in control the position or time derivative of the position. Okay. So, when you go for industrial control system, there what is happening, we have to deal with the movement of object. For example, if you are going for a satellite communication, where to track the satellite, I have to move my parabolic reflector antenna. It means I have to move the position of antenna continuously with respect to time. So, what I will do? I will add a servo motor which will keep rotate or keep change the position of antenna with respect to distance dx. Okay. So, whenever we need to control the position of certain element, in that case we have to apply the servo mechanism. Why we are saying? Because that rotation mechanism is slave to us. Whatever we feed the instruction in this motor, it will rotate the antenna in the same angle which we want. Okay. So, we are saying this rotation mechanism or position control mechanism is equivalent to the servo mechanism. Okay. So, servo mechanism, if you see the alternate definition, is an automatic device that uses the error sensing negative feedback to correct the performance of a mechanism. So, whenever we have to change the position, whether we receive the or whether we reach the desired location or desired angle or not, it is detected with the help of a negative feedback concept. Okay. And the servo motor, because we have to use a motor here, so this motor is known as servo motor. It is a rotatory actuator that allows for precision control of angular position, velocity and acceleration. Okay. And the servo motor are used to convert an electrical signal applied to them into angular displacement of the shaft, right. So, if we see the basic part here, one is motor, sensor will detect the position of feedback with the help of negative feedback. Okay. And then we will see here one more controller, which will take decision in which angle, how much angle we have to rotate, and we have to control the position of the system. Okay. So, now we will see the type of servo motor. One is AC, second is DC servo motor. DC servo motor can further categorize into two more category, one is armature and field control, and one more category is here is special servo motors. So, in this session we will discuss about the broadly used DC servo motor. So, this servo motor generally used in 1980s in the industrial era. Okay. And AC motor is the oldest you can say method which we used in the control system in industrial area. Okay. So, here in this session we will discuss about the armature controlled and field controlled DC servo motor. Okay. So, first we will see what is the basic requirement of good servo motor. So, the linear relationship between control signal and rotor speed over wide range, this is the requirement. So, if I am going for AC servo motor, so I will not get this linear relationship. So, that is why I have to go for DC servo motor to obtain the linear relationship between control signal and rotor speed, and inertia of rotor should be as low as possible. Okay. And we can say the response should be as fast, it should be easily reversible, it will gives you linear torque, and it should gives you the stable operation. So, whenever you go for the AC servo motor, so stability is less and non-linearity is more. So, to control the position with accuracy is not possible in AC servo motor. So, that is why we are going for DC servo motors. Okay. So, if we see the basic of DC motor, it consists of two part. One is the stationary part, which is outside. Okay. Second is the rotationary part, which is inside. This is the rotor. Okay. So, this will move inside this stationary part. Okay. And on the basis of that, we are saying certain windings are present. So, the field winding present on the stationary part, which will provide supply to this motor, and the supply, or you can say the winding present on the rotor, they are known as armature winding. Okay. So, if you see what is motor, so you can say motor is a transducer which convert your electrical energy into the mechanical motion. So, whenever you apply a current in the field winding, it will generate the magnetic field. This magnetic field will pass through the conductor of winding present in the rotor, and they will try to excite this you can say magnetic field inside this rotor, and whenever you apply supply across the rotor, it will generate own magnetic field, interaction will takes place, and that interaction result in a force which will rotate this rotatory part. Okay. So, here you can see the side view, where you can see this is the stator stationary part, and this is the rotor rotationary part. So, this is the winding, armature winding present on the rotor, and some winding present on the you can say stationary part. This is the field winding, and this is the armature winding present on the rotor. So, I hope the concept of this armature winding and field winding is clear to you. Okay. So, in the DC servo motor, if we represent the equivalent circuit diagram, so whenever we are placing the field winding, so it will have a certain resistance given by Rf, it have certain impedance in terms of inductance given by Lf, okay, it is L subscript f, and the current across it is If, and this is the motor, and we are connecting any random load across it, and this is the armature winding impedance. Ra is the armature resistance, La is the armature inductance, okay, and Ia is current passing through it. So, this is the equivalent circuit diagram of DC servo motor, where you are getting the field winding and armature winding with their impedance. Okay. So, feature of this field control DC motor is here. So, preferred for small rated motor, it has large time constant, it is open loop system, okay, and control circuit is simple to design. So, whenever we are saying it is field controlled, in this case I will assume that my armature current is constant. Whenever I want to say it is armature controlled, in that case I will assume my field current is constant, and then I will do the required derivations. Okay. So, now we will see the basic transfer function for this DC motor. So, here we are assuming that constant armature current is fed into the motor for field controlled DC motor, okay, and flux is proportional to the field current. So, I can write here this phi of f equal to kf times of If, okay, and torque is proportional to the flux and armature current. Okay. So, torque is proportional to the flux and armature. So, Tm is proportional to phi and Ia, where torque of motor is given as k dash of phi Ia, or it is written as this much. So, how we are writing this expression we will see in the next slide. Okay. So, for field control DC motor we have to assume this equivalent circuit. So, Ra, Ia, La and motor, they are corresponding to the armature winding, and I am assuming Ia is constant for field control, and this is my field winding having resistance Rf and Lf, okay, and this if rotor is rotating, then it will have torque Tm. Tm is the motor torque, it is moving certain displacement theta m, angular movement, omega m is the angular velocity of the motor, where Jm is the mass of motor, inertial mass. Whenever it is moving, it will have certain opposition force, that is the friction given by Bm. Okay. So, now we will see the transfer function of armature controlled DC motor. The air gap flux phi present in between rotor and stator, it is proportional to the current passing through field winding. So, I am writing this air gap flux phi proportional to I f. Okay. It means, if this is my stationary part, this is the rotor part, then there is a gap. If I see, there is a gap between this stator and rotor part. This gap is filled with air and it is having certain flux. So, if you apply the supply to this stator, it will generate magnetic field. The magnetic flux will pass through this air gap and reach to the rotor. So, whatever flux present in air gap is given by here phi. So, phi is proportional to I f, the field current you are applying on the field winding. So, phi equal to K f I f. Now, whenever this magnetic field interact with the armature winding, you will get their armature reaction. Torque produced is proportional to flux and armature current. T m is the torque across this motor, proportional to phi and I a. If you replace this proportionality constant, so flux you can say is given by K f I f. So, this phi is replaced by K f I f. Okay. If I remove this proportionality constant, I will get T m equal to K 1 K f I f I a. Okay. And here I am assuming that this constant you can say T m equal to K t times of I a. So, here T m is equal to K t I a. Okay. So, what is K t I a? So, this is the constant term you can see here that. So, you can see here that this K 1 is constant, K f is constant and I f is constant. Why I f is constant? Because we are talking about the armature control. So, whenever we are assuming here armature control, then field current is constant. When we decide the field control, in that case armature current is constant. So, in this case we are talking about the armature control. So, we are assuming that field current is constant. So, I will assume whole thing as a constant given by K t I a. Okay. So, the back EMF which will generate inside the motor, which will oppose this motion. Okay. So, this back EMF is directly proportional to the shaft velocity, okay, and it is given by E b proportional to speed of motor. E b is proportional to the angular velocity omega. If you replace this proportionality constant, E b is equal to K b times of omega. Okay. So, here this EMF will generate whenever torque is applied across this motor, and this EMF will try to oppose its own cause. Okay. So, here what it will do, this rotational speed is basically the omega which is causing this torque here. So, this back EMF is proportional to this speed of motor, it will try to oppose it, okay, try to oppose this process. So, if we see the analysis of this armature circuit, so I would like to apply KVL equation across it. Okay. So, right now we are observing the armature control. So, we will not look for this loop, we will look only for armature circuit. Okay. So, here the E a is the armature voltage, it is given by I a R a. I a R a, you can say current is passing through this resistance R a, okay, plus L a, this is the armature inductance, current is given by L d I by dt, and E b is the back EMF generate across this motor. So, this is the E b voltage across it, and this loop is complete. Okay. So, here I can write E a, if I take this E b in the RHS, sorry, in the LHS. So, E a minus E b equal to given by this expression. So, assume it at equation number 4, this back EMF expression assume it equation number 3, this motor torque assume it equation number 2, and this air gap flux assume it at equation number 1. Okay. Then if we talk about the load, so what we have done, we connected a load across this motor, and the load mass is given by inertial mass J m. Okay. So, this torque would be given by J d omega by dt, it is having the frictional element damper B, B omega will come. So, if we now we are going for transfer function. Now, assume that this is the equation number 5. So, from this 5 equation we would like to see the transfer function for armature controlled servo motor. Okay. So, if we take the Laplace transform, then we will get this equation for torque J d omega by dt. It will be replaced by, oh sorry, this is not the expression, k t times of I a. Let me see. Yeah, this is the equation number 2. So, here this is the torque, motor torque given by k t times of I a. If I see the Laplace transform, it is T m of s k t times of I a of s. Now, we will write the Laplace transform for back EMF equation E b equal to k b omega, and it in s domain E b of s k b of omega s. Now, the previous equation, it is E a minus E b given by this expression. In Laplace transform, it is given as E a of s minus E b of s equal to this expression, and the motor torque that you had seen here, it would be given by, this is present at the load. So, T m of s equal to j dot s plus b omega s. So, this d omega by dt is replaced by this s term. Okay. So, from this equation 6 and 9, you can see the equation number 6 and this equation number 9. If I equate, so this torque is same. Okay. So, I can equate this term to this equation and I will get this expression. Okay. So, from here I can assume this relation if I rearrange this variable. Okay. So, here you can say this will become here a transfer function where I a s is the output and E b E a minus E b is the input quantity. So, this will become a transfer function because here my numerator quantity is in S domain acting as output and denominator quantity in S domain acting as input, and this would be the transfer function for the system. Okay. Now, come for a second. So, from the previous equation number 6, you will obtain this quantity. You can see the previous equation number 6, that is T m s equal to k t I of a s. Okay. So, here I a is acting as output, here you will assume that I a is acting as input. So, here I a f s is acting as input, this is acting as output in S domain, this will work as transfer function equal to k t. The same way from equation number 9, you can see this is the equation number 9, right. At the final stage my output is omega s. So, I would like to arrange the equation in terms of omega s. So, omega s is the output, my torque is the motor torque is the input, and this is the transfer function. So, right now what is happening here, now you can see here first E a minus E b, this is acting as my input and armature current is coming as the output. Now, this armature current acting as input here, giving the torque as output. Now, torque is coming as a input and providing omega s or angular velocity as a output. Okay. So, this is the case, and if you see from equation number 7, if you provide this angular velocity omega s as the input, and then it will provide you back EMF as the output, and it is given by k b. So, if we combine it, so final output is my omega s and initial input was my E of s. Okay. So, if you combine all this thing, then you will get this transfer function k t upon R a plus L a s multiplied by J s plus b plus k t k b. Okay. So, if you replace all this thing together, if you assume this is your final output omega s, then this is T m of s. Okay. Then you have to replace the value of T m of s k t of I a, it will come here. Okay. If you solve all this thing, then you will get this transfer function. Okay. It is simple mathematics. Now, we need to draw the block diagram for it. So, here E a of s, this is the input, this is the output. So, E a of s is the input, this is the summer block, we will talk about later because it is receiving certain feedback, right. So, here my one block would be 1 over R a plus L a s 1 over, this is my first block. Okay. And here it is giving the output I a. Now, k t is here, you can say how I am writing this block. Let me go to the previous equation. this is my equation first where I make the first transfer function. Okay. You can say it is A, equation number A, because we had already done the numbering 1, 2, 3. So, this is the equation number A. Here my input is E A minus E B. Okay. So, that is why E A minus E B is happening, subtraction is happening, I need to add a summer. Okay. So, that is why I add a summer here, which will do E A minus E B. Okay. Now, what is the output here? Output is coming here I A of S. Okay. So, here my output would be I A of S. What is the block? You can see 1 over R A plus L A S. So, you will write 1 over R A plus L A S, output is I A S. Now, see, this is the equation number B, okay, where I A S is the input, output is T M, gain is K T, this is K T, output is T M torque. Now, come for equation number C. This torque is acting as input here, output is omega S, this is gain block 1 over G S plus B, output is omega S. Now, this equation back EMF is acting as here a negative feedback, because it is opposing the motor motion. Okay. So, this omega S will come here as input and output is here E B S, gain is K B, and this is the complete transfer function. If you solve it, you will get this expression. Okay. So, this is the armature controlled. Similarly, you can go for the field controlled DC motor. Okay. So, in this case, I will assume the armature current is constant, same analysis, my air gap flux proportional to field current of I F or phi equal to K F I F, then armature reaction will happen, it will generate torque, which is the product of flux and armature current, same expression, same expression. Now, here this is the torque expression given by K 1 K F I F I A. Okay. This thing we obtained in the previous derivation. Now, here I am assuming K 1 is constant, K F is constant and my armature current is constant. This is the difference will come when we go for field controlled DC motor. So, here my torque is given as K A T I F. In case of armature controlled, it was K T I A. This is the difference coming here. Okay. Now, again back EMF proportional to speed of motor, E B proportional to omega, E B is given by K B times of omega. Now, you have to apply KVL in field loop. You do not have to consider this loop, okay, because we are studying here field control. So, we have to do analysis of field control circuit or winding. So, here this is the equation E F equal to, this is the field voltage, E F equal to I F R F plus L d I by dt, that is L F d I F over dt. Okay. If we connect the load across the motor, you can say if I connect any load here, it will have inertial mass J M, it will move with torque T M, motor torque, and the movement would be angular movement theta m and velocity would be omega. So, T M is given by this, as you had seen in previous case. Now, for transfer function, you have to take the Laplace of these equations, equation number 2, 3, 4 and equation number 5. This is the equation number 5. So, you have to take Laplace transform all this equation, you will get equation number 6, 7, 8, 9. So, from equation number 8 you can write this thing, okay, where E of F is act as input and I of S act as output. In previous derivation, here we are getting the I of A. So, from the equation number 6 you can see I of S is acting as input and T M of S acting as output and gain is K T. This is equation number A. This is equation number B. Then T M S act as input and final output is omega S, and this is gain, this is act as equation number C, and this back EMF will act as feedback path. Okay. Now, see the representation. So, this is the same, E F is input, I F is the output. You can see from equation number A, gain is 1 over R F plus L F S, right. Then I F S act as input, output is T M of S, gain is K T. You can see from equation number B, same from equation number C and D. So, now this back EMF loop is incomplete. Why? Because you can see this is in the field controlled, right, and back EMF generate in the rotor side. So, that is why there is no connection in between them. So, that is why we are making at a open loop system here. So, field control transfer function would be a open loop. If you solve it, you will get this expression as a transfer function for field controlled servo motor. Okay. Now, we will see our next topic, that is sensors and encoder. Okay. So, generally sensors and encoders, we have to use them as a feedback element in control system. Okay. So, if we now we will see the basic types of sensor generally we use in control system. So, whenever you see the feedback element, they consist of sensors and encoders. Okay. So, one is here potentiometer. So, you know that potentiometer is an electromechanical device. If you rotate, if you apply the rotational motion across the potentiometer, then resistance will vary and it will gives you variable resistance at the output. If you connect a constant DC supply across potentiometer, then at the output you will get the variable DC supply. So, this is the potentiometer. Okay. And you can see a wiper is here. If you move this wiper, so basically you can apply here a angular movement. So, theta is given, this is the angular movement across the wiper. If you rotate it, this wiper position change linearly over the resistance scale and it will change the R, okay, where the total R is the potentiometer resistance R p, x t is the total displacement, x I is the input displacement from this wiper with the help of this angular displacement theta c, and the voltage generated is here E. So, if you write this equation, it is given as E p equal to R p over x t divided by R p multiplied by x I. So, x I is the input displacement, x t is the total displacement available in this potentiometer. If you solve it, so this will get expression like this, where K p is the pot gain, potentiometer gain given by this expression E I over x t, or E t equal to K p x I, or if you take the Laplace transform, this will become this expression where x I s act as input, K p is the gain block, E s is the output. Okay. So, you can see x I s is the input displacement, E of s is coming as output voltage. So, this is the potentiometer which will gives you variable supply depending on position of resistance in the pot. Okay. Next is the tachometer element, this is again a part of sensor. Its main function is to measure the speed of motor, and here whenever motor is moving, this tachometer you have to insert in the motor and then it will gives you output the reading of speed. Okay. So, there is a digital display on the tachometer which will tells you the speed of motor at which the motor is moving. Okay. Basically, it will gives you the DC signal at the output. So, here the output would be the equal to the speed of motor, E naught is proportional to d theta over dt. Okay. This is speed, and if you remove this proportionality constant, E naught equal to k t d theta over dt. If you take the Laplace, this is the expression where theta s you can say this is the angular movement of motor as a input, and your angular you can say the digital reading is coming in terms of E naught, it is acting as output here, where k t is here gain, right. This is the potentiometer. Now, we will see here the one more encoder, this is the incremental encoder, this is working on the basis of optical principle. So, in this incremental encoder, what we are doing, we are encoding our signal, this is a sensor, this is a light source, maybe LED or laser beam, it is passing through this plate. Whenever these plate are crossing each other, then it will change the intensity of light and then you will get change in the output case. Whenever intensity of light will change, so different voltage V 1, V 2, V 3 will come and it will do the encoding of incoming light wave. Okay. So, this is the rotating encoder which will work on the principle of these two moving plate. So, this is the transparent plate, whenever it will cut, then intensity of light will change and it will interact with this plate, and again a different voltage will come at the photovoltaic cell or sensor, and it will generate different voltage depending on my intensity of light. Okay. So, this is a light encoder. Okay. So, thank you for today, this topic is over.